everybody, and welcome to the first of 4 Total Drama review episodes, where I am going to be discussing the new Total Drama Island 2023 season, give you my thoughts, and share with you the intense hype that I am feeling with the release of this new season. My name is Billy, but you can call me Billy. So, let's get the elephant out of the room real quick. You were probably expecting me to do a reaction episode like I do with the Disventure Camp series. Mainly because I said I would do that. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I am afraid that that is not possible. I've seen a couple of copyright strikes flung around YouTube recently because technically the new season isn't even supposed to be out yet, and I don't want to get caught in the crossfire. So that's why you're not going to be seeing any new Total Drama stuff in this video. There's not going to be any footage. I think there's even going to be a little Minecraft in the background, so enjoy that if you're a Minecraft fan. But it's just going to be me sharing my opinion on this new season. However, I did record my reactions to the new seasons, and I will upload these as a mega link in the description of this video if you want to check that out. Shout out to the Reaction King for this idea, as well as to Eli in my Discord server for letting me know of this idea. Thank you very much. This review is going to cover the first 3 episodes of the Total Drama reboot, and I will be cutting these up into 3 different parts. The first one being completely spoiler-free, where I'm just going to share my opinion on the show in general without diving into any of the characters or the story behind it. The second part contains light spoilers, as I will be discussing the characters in more detail, but not their elimination order just yet. And then lastly, I will be talking about the eliminations and the dynamics between the characters and what I've seen so far and what I predict of the rest of this season. Once we go over into a new section, I'll just use a big alarm. You won't be able to miss it unless you're asleep. Then you can decide for yourself if you want to stick around or if you want to tune out for now. With that being said, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking this video. And if you want to support the Silly Billy channel, you can do so via the other link in my description. It's a shame that I can't upload my reactions directly to YouTube, so any help would be greatly appreciated. So let's start with that spoiler-free review of this show. My god, is this season amazing. So far, I'm absolutely loving the way that the season is turning out. Total Drama has taken the concept of a reboot and is fully running with it. There are little nods and references to the older seasons, but other than that, this season is telling its own story completely. Everything about this season screams Total Drama Island. First off, there's the obvious tie-ins to the previous season. Cambo and Aqua is mysteriously back, the outhouse and the confessionals are back, Chef reprises his role as the cook, and oh yeah, he has screen time! The cabins, the breakfast moments, even the original sharks and bears, it's all back like we know it from its glory days, which I think is a great way to go about this reboot. But also in the way that the show feels, the way that it takes its time to develop the characters outside of the show, it just all feels Total Drama, which I think is absolutely amazing. The cast is pretty big as well, 16 characters with only 13 episodes to get rid of them, but despite that, each of the characters does get some moments to shine here and there. Some characters, of course, get a little more storyline and have some bigger stories than others, but overall, there's only really 1 character I say goes underused, maybe 2, but even those have its reasons. But we'll get into that later, don't worry. So far, I've watched only 3 episodes, and the challenges in these episodes feel pretty OG Total Drama as well. They find a great balance between Survivor-like shows with their homemade feel and the craziness and silliness you can pull off with a cartoon show. Not every challenge is as memorable, which is unfortunate, but especially the episode 2 challenge was a real standout in my opinion. And with the 3 episodes I've seen so far, was definitely the standout in terms of challenge. Despite them having a lot to cram into just 13 short episodes, so far I don't really feel like the season is rushing. It has a good pacing, which allows characters to bond in between challenges as well, which was something that was severely lacking in later Total Drama seasons. So I'm really glad that this is back. And I think that concludes about all the general stuff I have to say without going into spoiler territory. So, time for the alarm! Now, if you don't want to know what character types these characters are based off, I suggest you stop watching right now. There's not going to be spoilers for the elimination order just yet, so if you're really curious about what these characters are, then feel free to watch this part. In no particular order, here are the characters on the new Total Drama show, summed up in 1 or 2 sentences. Ripper. Starting off with Ripper, an absolutely vile creature who thinks very highly macho of himself, but really is just a disgusting douche. He resembles Sugar in a lot of ways. Millie is a very smart young lady doing research on the behavior of fellow teens by joining the show and writing down the other contestants' behaviors. Scary Girl is literally Harley Quinn, but even more creepy and death-obsessed. Priya, the daughter of 2 die-hard Total Drama fans who have trained Priya her entire life to join Total Drama in case of a potential reboot. I quite dislike that this makes the aging of all the other Total Drama contestants canon. Ow. Wayne is the team captain of his and Raj's hockey club. He's pretty dumb, but he's a good leader. Raj is equally parts dumb and also part of the same hockey club. We is pretty in sync with Wayne in the way that they think and act. Damien is pressured by his friends into signing up to the show, but he has no idea what Total Drama is about. So the majority of his stay is just him being 2 steps behind everybody, wondering what the heck is even going on in the first place. He's so chaotic. MK is a sneaky girl who prides herself for her ability to go unnoticed, using it to her advantage by robbing others and staying under the radar. Chase is a thrill seeker with a YouTube channel who loves doing crazy stunts. Or well, he did until his YouTube channel kind of fell apart when his girlfriend Emma dumped him. Emma! Yes, she is that girlfriend of Chase. I did not expect this at all. She hates Chase's guts, while Chase hopes that they are still able to get together at some point. Axel! Imagine Eva. Congratulations, you are now also imagining Axel. Nichelle is a famous movie star who is instantly recognized by all the other players. She acts pretty modest, but very much believes all the praise that she is given by the others. Bowie is a sassy gay icon who loves to gossip and plant his seeds in the game. Caleb. Imagine Justin in Island. Congratulations, you are now also imagining Caleb. Z is a dumb, layback party dude who is crazily addicted to soda. And finally, Julia is an influencer who specializes in self-care and growing as a person. Imagine Dawn becoming a TikToker and you have Julia. Now, those are the characters that are joining, and if you want to know my thoughts about these characters, stay tuned for the spoiler part. And if not, I suggest you tune off this video right now because it is time for... Okay, so for this next part, I think I'm going off script, and I think I'm going to use a little tier list. If you're wondering what the heck is going on with my tiers right here, you clearly haven't seen the video that came out on April Fool's. If you want to check that out, I'll leave it linked in the icon card in the top right. So I think I'm going to dive into my opinion on these characters by using a little tier list as well, tell you how much I enjoy them so far, and then also tell you what I think their story is going to be, or in a few cases, how their story has come to an end already. B is of course the best tier, X, Q are also very good, T is a little mid, T is an average tier, and then Elemento is a really, really bad letter. You don't want to be in tier Elemento. I think it makes sense to start with the 3 characters that have already been eliminated from episode 3 onward. So starting with Caleb, who is indeed the first character to be eliminated. The people saw it correctly. He was absent in a lot of the trailers, and that was absolutely because he just doesn't have any screen time. And I think I'm going to put Caleb, I think in T tier. I think I'm placing him here because Caleb didn't really get a chance to shine. He was decent in the beginning, but really hasn't had the chance to pop off yet. He was fine for the couple of scenes that he was in, but really he was just like Justin in the fact that he also got really only a couple of lines, but now they just decided to eliminate him first instead of fourth. And that's about all. And the reason that he gets eliminated is because of Bowie right here, who implies that because everybody thinks Caleb is incredibly handsome and smart, and everybody's convinced that he might just win the show, it might be a good idea to get rid of him altogether, just immediately in the first episode, which I very much agree is a good plan on Bowie's part. So that's why Caleb takes T. Alright, moving on to Axel, who is unfortunately the second character to be eliminated, and I'm going to put her in Elemento tier. Not because I dislike Axel all that much, but because I feel like this is the biggest wasted potential the show has so far. Axel shares a lot of similarities with Eva in that they are both physically very strong, but they are also very strong-headed. Like, they pick a fight with about everybody. Axel picks a lot of fights with Ripper in particular, because Ripper and Axel just clash in terms of personality. But Axel is very hot-headed. He's easily angered. And there was not really anything that stood Axel apart from the Eva that we've already come to know. And the unfortunate part about this is that they set up Axel to become, well, from what we've seen in the trailers, which is probably a good lesson as to why you shouldn't pay too much attention to the trailers. But I had a feeling that Axel could have a very interesting storyline of a Eva-like character, which then got to see the value of friendship and grow as a person, and unfortunately that didn't happen. So I'm going to have to put Eva as the... I'm going to have to put Axel. That was not on purpose. You can see that I'm getting these two mixed up, and there's a very good reason why. So Axel unfortunately has to go to the bottom tier. And then the final character already eliminated is Nichelle. I think Nichelle is fine. I don't have a particularly strong opinion about Nichelle just yet. I think she was fine for the time being. I thought they were going to do a little storyline with her and Julia, but they ended up not doing anything with that. And in the end, well, you know what? Actually, I think I'm going to drop her down a tier because there was not really a lot that I enjoyed about Nichelle so far. She was just kind of there. And until she wasn't, and now she isn't. So there's a lot of potential with this character. The big plot twist with her is that she hasn't done any of her own stunts, and although she claims she has. And then she fails miserably in one of the challenges in episode 3, and then she goes home. Because people see what a scam she is. And she's not even able to stand up for a full 5 minutes, and that was pretty annoying to watch. So she goes into the T tier. Now, for the 13 characters that are still left into the show, I am going to pick these in just a little bit of random order. I don't have a particular preference as to who I think I should do first, but let's start with my biggest surprise for this season, which is Chase, of all people. Chase, because of the potential that his storyline has. I think I'm going to put him in Q? So far, he's going in Q, because Chase as a character has not necessarily done anything that really intrigues me about him just yet. But the idea that he and Emma know each other from before, I did not see that coming at all. It was such a big twist. I absolutely loved it, and it already gives me more direction. They seem to be pretty important players for the season to come. I haven't seen anything past episode 3 yet, so don't let me know if I'm wrong or not. But yeah, Chase seems to be an important player, especially with Emma, who also seems to have this big storyline, and will they get together again or not? Chase and Emma are similar to the way that Devin and Carrie interacted with each other. At least their relation feels similar to each other. I think there is potential for this character to become special, but so far I haven't seen it just yet. Emma, same case. There's a couple of things that I enjoy about this character, but so far I'm yet to fall in love with her. My favorite part is that she's pretty much unhinged, so more so a little like Stephanie. And I quite like her so far. Not the best, not the worst, so she's going in the middle. Now, I feel like we haven't even touched the first 2 tiers yet. Well, there are a couple of characters that I'm really excited about so far. So let's move somebody to the B tier, to the absolute best of the best, which is Bowie. Bowie is so incredibly amazing. I adore Bowie to death. He's so funny. Now, he's not necessarily funny. He's not the one who gets a lot of giggles, although they do have a couple of good jokes with him. But just the sass, man. The sass, it's so good. I love it. Bowie's also the reason for Caleb's elimination, which I really liked. The first elimination was already one set up by what may be the main villain of the show, and I would hope that he is. I hope he is the main villain, because then we get this sassy gay icon of a character which gets to be this manipulative bastard. I love it. I love the combination of that. So he's going into B tier for now. I hope that they can keep up this energy throughout the rest of the season. Let's move another character to B tier, which is Damien. I absolutely adore Damien as of yet. But I think Damien is really funny because almost all of his lines are a question, in the sense of, what are we doing? Why is this happening? How did I get here? And then in episode 3, he decides that enough is enough and he might just want to get eliminated, but he can't quit because then Chris owes him $1 million. So Damien now decides that his best plan of approach is to pin the blame on himself so that he can get eliminated. And then other characters go like, taking it for the team. Man, Damien is so cool. It's so funny. I love it. Damien is absolutely the best, and his voice actor really carries the role. It's not the type of character that I would have expected from this guy going in, but it is really fun. It's really fun. And he has a mustache. It isn't showing on the images, but he has a mustache. It's really weird. Okay, next up we have Ripper. Difficult. I know a little that people do not seem to like Ripper all that much, but honestly, I think I'm just a 4-year-old boy because I quite enjoy Ripper. That being said, though, he is a little annoying, so for now he's going into the Q tier, which is in the middle, sort of. I think there's room for this character to grow, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's the next one to go. And I think if they keep up the energy that they are right now, he might drop further in future episodes, because I think you can't go wrong pretty quickly with this character. He is the Owen Sugar type fart character, right? And people don't like fart jokes. I think people shouldn't complain that much. Fart jokes can be pretty funny if they're implemented well. But with Ripper, it's just a little bit too much of the good stuff, so to say. So that's why Ripper's going in the middle right here. It's not the best execution, but it is a really fun character to watch. Especially with how maniacal he is and how full he is of himself. Joining Ripper in Q tier is Raj. I think Raj still has some room to grow yet. What I do love is that Raj seems to be part of the gay couple with Bowie, or at least they are setting up this relationship between the two of them, which I think is pretty cute. I like it a lot. That being said, I haven't really seen a lot to root for from Raj just yet. Whereas, for example, a Wayne, I already see more what they want to tell with that character. So he is going into X tier, which is the second best. It's confusing. But Wayne is just really funny. And I like that he gets a moment to shine as well, because he is a good leader. He's just really dumb, but he's a good leader. And, as such, he is one of the main reasons that his team takes home the win in this second episode. And I like that. I like this character a lot. Next up, let's pick Priya. I think Priya is fine. I'm in doubt between X or Q tier. I think so far, she's going in Q, because I haven't seen anything that I particularly love about this character yet, but I absolutely don't I don't dislike her either. I think she could be a pretty fun character. It's still going to take a little time, which might also suggest that she is going to make it far in the season. But for now, Priya's pretty fun. I got a lot of Lake feeling with how she also has controlling parents. I hope that they don't make her the winner. Because she doesn't want to be the winner. Her parents want to be the winner, so she can go to med school. And kinda, I can see that, but I think a story where she comes to terms with the fact that she doesn't have to listen to her parents and then quit on her own behalf would be a far more satisfying story than just letting her win the show and making her parents proud. Next up, we'll do Millie. I think Millie is going to join in Q tier as well. Millie's fine. She's pretty fun so far. I think it's funny. This is the way that you take a character who notices her surroundings and reacts on the stupidity that is going on without dumbing down the other players. Because Millie is looking for behavioral patterns, and there are a couple of wackos here in this season that absolutely give her the material that she's looking for. Ripper. But I never get the feeling that Millie is downplaying the other characters. So far, Millie hasn't done really anything special on her own just yet, so I'm just going to put her in the middle yet. She can become pretty fun. She can become pretty forgettable as well. It depends a little bit on what they're going to do with her story, and as well as how long she's going to stay in the show. Because if she gets eliminated next episode, she's dropping down in tier. It's that easy, because then there was not really anything to offer here. Let's take Julia next. I think Julia goes into the X tier because Julia is pretty fun. I like her bubbly energy. It's a little bit like Dawn, but if Dawn had a phone. And I quite like the way that they set up this character. I really like her. I thought she would be more sassy, more bitch-er, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Julia is actually a pretty nice girl. She's just a little thing, and she wants to be the help for everybody else. Oh, she's such a good person, and she's growing, and she's morally strong, and oh, she's giving the chakra energy to everybody, and I quite like the way that they are setting up her story. So X tier for her. Also getting X tier would be MK. So far, I think. Actually, no. Let's put MK one tier lower. Not the biggest fan of MK so far. I do think that they're doing pretty fun things with her. I adore that she's hacked into the outhouse camera and is now aware of all the footage that is being spouted out by the other contestants. All the confessionals are going straight into her phone. Or, well, one of Julia's phones, because she stole it from her. MK herself hasn't done a lot to make me root for her just yet. but I think this could be a pretty fun secondary antagonist to the show. I hope she's secondary, and I hope Bowie gets to take home the role of the real villain. Or they do a James-like thing where I think Bowie is the villain right now, and then he becomes the good person at the end, which I would pretty much enjoy as well. Z, going straight into B tier. Z is the absolute GOAT of his team. That's not really true, but Z is just really fun. And I love that he got to play the hero for the second episode. It was a bummer that he got to lose at the end because of a bird sitting on his wheel, but I really liked it. And Z is the amputee of all characters. He is missing a leg, but Z is like, he's a little like Shaggy, or a little like Jeff from Total Drama, and I adore it. I adore Z. He's really fun. As well as his random obsession with soda. It's not really explained. I wonder if it will be. He just randomly holds a soda and he's like, I have no idea how I got this. And I just really love how they are doing his story so far. So absolutely rooting for Z. By the way, rooting for Z and Damien to win the season so far. I'm wondering if that's going to happen as well. But usually I root for the person that goes home first. And so far that hasn't happened yet. So yay, let's go. And then we have one character left, which is Scary Girl. Well, let me just do this, and then do this. Let's do this. Let's move this, and then do a little action like this. Let's just do like that. Maybe we need to add a row below, and then I think we have a pretty accurate tier list, because Scary Girl is like every scene of her on screen is good. She is so incredibly funny. It is insane. This character spits out one-liner after one-liner. And it's not that she's really spitting out one-liners. That's not actually true. She doesn't have a lot of good jokes. She's not witty. She's just insane. And they commit to it so fully. I do think if they are not going to improve on this character, that she might drop a little down. Because so far, it's becoming predictable. Like, every time somebody mentions something gory, blood, death, anything along that line, Scary Girl goes, ugh. And so far, it's really fun, but if that's all this character is going to offer, then I think she's going to drop down to X tier, because, well, let's face it, this character is just really fun. The greatest moment of the show so far is Priya saying something along the lines of, I want Ripper gone because he's disgusting, and I know that Millie feels the same way, and I don't know how Scary Girl feels about this. And then we cut to Scary Girl in the confessional, singing, if you're gonna hide a body, clap your hands. If you're gonna hide a body, clap your hands. It was so good. It took me off guard so hard. I loved it. I absolutely am in love with Scary Girl so far. That being said, they do need to improve on this character. And I hope that she will make it far into the show. Like, give her 6th or 5th place. Please, just do it. Just make her like the Goths. You know, they got 7th out of 18. That would be a fine placement for her too. Let me enjoy this character. Give her a little bit of development. Show that she can be an actual person. And then I'm going to love this character. This might become my favorite character of all time. It just might be. But for now, she isn't. And that might very well change. I am going to be watching the show again next week. I'll probably be back if I have the time. I've already watched 3 separate episodes for this video alone and have to edit this video as well. So you can imagine that this takes quite a lot of time. So please consider showing your support by subscribing to the channel. And you know, donating could also really help. Thank you very much. That being said, I thank you for watching once again. This has been Silly Billy. And remember, if you're gonna hide a body, clap your hands. How do?